In your inbox for good reason, or We're Big in Zimbabwe, written by Taylor Reed. A flurry caught my eye last year. It wasn't like the flurries of snow we've been seeing these days. I noticed that we were inundated by new sign-ups for our emails. It wasn't immediately apparent. They arrived over a month or two. When I caught wind of the happening, it felt like encouragement, as if things were landing rightly. We were writing the sorts of writings and offering the sorts of offerings that people hungered for. How satisfying. For a bit, at least. As I glanced down through the list of sign-ups, something else stuck out. We were big in Zimbabwe. No kidding. Not 1, not 10, nearly all of the sign-ups were from Zimbabwe. Now, readership from other countries isn't new to us. Sweden has been our stellar example. We've worked to cater to that northern clime. We've featured writings from Sweden's Gunnar Rundgren, an authority on food systems and organic production, in The Whole Field, Volume 3, Number 5, and Dugald Hein, the visionary behind A School Called Home in Osterwalla, in The Whole Field, Volume 4, Number 3, and don't forget the feature on Grazed and Confused, a lovely contemporary agrarian film from Sweden's Leo Labadi, in The Whole Field, Volume 3, Number 11. But this was different. It didn't make sense because we hadn't actively cultivated anything closely related to Zimbabwe. At least, it didn't make sense until I spied something more. Asterisk 8ABG7 # FFN 2RR9LY. In a field intended for meaningful input, I found something meaningless. A set of characters as random as can be. The pattern continued across all of the signups. Address? Random letter number jumble. City? A nonsensical string of data. Zip code? Another wild bunch of nothing. You, the reader, might have seen this coming from a mile away. The contacts were fake. I thought we were gaining traction, and in a very new locale for us, too. And it was all Wait. Hold on. My eyes weren't deceiving me, and the contacts were not fake. I was seeing genuine real-time activity from those very addresses. Sure, some were behaving in ways I'd expect from people with no discernible connection to what we do, namely, aiming to support long-term resilient culture, livelihood, and life, primarily in rural Northwest Michigan. Those were unsubscribing and flagging our emails as spam. But not all of them did that. I tracked along as some began to open our emails regularly. Some took it a step further, clicking through to different links, following what fit their interests. Before batch deleting all of the additions, I did some sleuthing and looked up some of the email addresses. Sure enough, these were real people. Not from Zimbabwe, but real. The question remained, why were these folks getting our emails? Well, I gathered a handful of facts and mapped out that these errant email recipients could likely be explained by what's known as a spam bomb. There are a few reasons for spam bombing. 1. A spam bomb can be set up to damage an entity's online presence and credibility. Somebody have a vendetta against Crosshatch? In that case, enlist web crawlers to pull random email addresses from across the internet or find a way to purchase bulk email data on the dark web. Add all of those contacts to our sign-up form. If I don't catch on, we're suddenly sending mail to all of these addresses who likely flag the unexpected emails as spam. Once we've hit a certain number of flagged emails, our communications are blacklisted and servers filter them out, effectively negating delivery of email campaigns. 2. Another explanation behind spam bombing seems more likely in our case. The technique can be used to hide evidence of fraudulent online purchases. In this instance, the folks being emailed are the targets, rather than us, the ones doing the emailing. In short, again, batches of email data and contact information are obtained. This time, credit card info and/or online payment details too. Bots are used to sign individuals up for a flood of emails, inundating their inboxes, while fraudulent purchases are made. Because of the onslaught of emails, victims likely never see the online notifications for the purchases that hit their inbox. It's a jerk move. There you have it. Our seeming flash of popularity was likely a remnant of a weird artificial system that humans created to use technology for harm, an odd practice still shaping the world in lasting and negative ways. It was gratifying to see our growth in numbers, but it's less so knowing it wasn't quite the real thing. Despite the ups and downs I've shared, the intention of these emails, what they're capable of, and what they're for, is steady. I track with Adam Wilson's exploration of their limitations and value. Excerpted from The Reclamation of Agency. Quote, "For whatever intimacy these written stories achieve, this is not neighboring. We do not share breath across the digital abyss. I don't see your patterns of coming and going when I bike by on my daily trips up and down the road. I won't be knocking on your front door with a box of farm beef that's on the spring list for the neighbors on the road, or an invitation to carpool to the Friday supper at the Church of the Nazarene. I won't be asking you to mow the farmhouse lawn this summer or join us for one of our Sunday work days called Farm Frolics. I won't learn that your husband just lost his job, or that your son's at the hospital after a mental breakdown. I won't be kept up at night wondering how I might make myself available to you in your moment of distress, or whether the dollars in my bank account might be of greater service in your hands right now. But I will continue to write stories that encourage you to pursue such emotional and material entanglements." End quote. I particularly love that last line. But I will continue to write stories that encourage you to pursue such emotional and material entanglements. My work here at Crosshatch is helpful to the extent that it incites and encourages embodiment and participation. The whole email contact saga above was shared in hopes that it might be entertaining, but it wasn't intended solely to entertain. It was intended to get you here, encountering fodder for grounded work, creative action, and in-the-flesh relationships. Those things don't sneak into your inbox and make themselves present in your life without you knowing. They take work and time. That's work that we're in together, and that's work these missives aim to support. It's less about flashy numbers. It's more about enlivening and being enlivened by our rural communities in what are often less quantifiable ways. I hope these written words take on a life of their own, particular to your circumstances, wherever you are. Here, in Zimbabwe, anywhere.